Your cat is trying to tell you something right now, and you have no idea. Not with meowing, not with scratching at the door, something quieter than that, something you've walked past 1,000 times without ever knowing what it meant. Cat behaviourists say cats quietly communicate with us many times every day, but most owners never realise what they're saying. Several chances, every single day, for your cat to say something to you in a language you were never taught to read. And most owners miss almost every one. By the end of this video, you won't. You're going to learn all 14 of them. Some of these are small, some might surprise you. All of them are things your cat is already doing, you just haven't been looking for them. No toys, no treats, no training, just 5 seconds, 14 times, and a bond that goes a little deeper than before. Let's begin. Here's something that might change the way you see your cat. Your cat communicates with you every single day, in ways most owners never learn to notice. When your cat looks at you and blinks slowly, half closing their eyes in your direction, holding it, then opening again, they are not being sleepy, they are not zoning out. Cat behaviourists often call this the cat kiss, and it's considered one of the more relaxed, trusting things a cat can do in front of you. Think about what closing your eyes actually means for an animal that's both predator and prey. In the wild, closing your eyes near another creature is a small risk. It's a moment of exposure. So when your cat does it in front of you, on purpose, holding your gaze first, that's not nothing. It's a sign they feel at ease. Cats generally don't slow blink at just anyone. Not at strangers, not at things they're unsure of. It tends to show up around beings they feel relaxed and safe with. And most owners just look away. They miss it, day after day, for years. But if you slow blink back softly, holding their gaze with relaxed eyes before letting your lids fall, you'll often see something shift in your cat's body. Their shoulders drop a little, their tail stills, their breathing settles. You're not just making eye contact, you're answering them, in the oldest language cats have known. Try it tonight. Wait until your cat looks at you, soften your eyes, and blink slowly. Watch what happens next. 5 seconds. Soft eyes. 1 slow blink. A small moment, and to your cat, it means something. But the next gesture? Your cat does it to you almost every single day, and a lot of owners completely misunderstand what it means. Your cat walks up to you, lowers their head, and presses it firmly against your hand, your chin, your leg. Most owners smile, give a quick pat, and go right back to what they were doing. What just happened is worth pausing on. That head bump behaviourists call it bunting isn't just casual affection or a bid for attention. It's one of the more deliberate gestures in a cat's social behaviour. Here's what's actually happening biologically. Along their forehead, cheeks and chin, cats carry scent glands. When they press those glands against you, they're leaving their scent on you, marking you as part of their territory and their world. It's a way of saying, in their own instinctive way, that you're someone familiar, someone safe. Cats generally don't bunt strangers or things they're wary of. They tend to bunt the people and things they've decided, in their own way, are worth claiming as theirs. Here's where a lot of owners go wrong. The second their cat bumps them, they immediately start petting, grabbing, redirecting the interaction toward what they want. And without realising it, they cut the gesture short. When you stay still instead, and let the bunt complete fully just 5 seconds of not pulling away, not redirecting, just receiving it lets the moment land the way your cat intended it. The next gesture involves your hands, and the way you use them in one simple daily moment can shift what your cat feels. There is a spot on your cat's body that they cannot reach themselves. Not fully, not ever, no matter how flexible they are, and cats, as you know, are extraordinarily flexible. Right at the base of the tail, where it meets the spine, there's a spot that tends to be especially sensitive for most cats. Scratch it gently, and you'll often see a clear reaction. Their eyes go half closed, their front paws start slowly kneading whatever surface they're on. Some cats will raise their hindquarters slightly, leaning into the pressure like they've been waiting for that exact touch. This tends to be one of the more visibly relaxing spots you can scratch on a cat, and many owners never find it, because it's not the first place you'd think to reach for. Here's what makes it feel like more than just a physical sensation. You are reaching a spot they can't get to on their own. You're caring for the one part of them that has no one else to care for it. In feline social groups, grooming the hard-to-reach places is one of the ways cats look after each other. When you scratch that spot, you're doing something a bonded companion would do. 5 seconds, and a spot your cat has been waiting on someone to find. The next gesture costs nothing. It requires no touching at all, and it's one of the more overlooked things on this list. Your cat sits on the edge of the couch instead of in your lap. They settle on the floor a few feet away instead of right beside you. They pick the arm of the chair instead of the cushion next to yours. A lot of owners take this personally. They think their cat is being distant or indifferent. It's usually the opposite. Cat behaviourists point out that cats don't sit near you by accident. The spot they choose is usually a small, deliberate decision. And the distance your cat picks isn't necessarily a measure of how much they care about you. It's often more about how safe they feel, expressing that closeness on their own terms. When a cat positions themselves nearby but not on top of you, they're close enough to keep an eye on you, close enough to feel your presence, but still in control of the interaction. For a cat who feels genuinely unsafe, even that nearby spot wouldn't happen. A frightened cat tends to hide altogether. A cat who consistently chooses to be in the same room as you, even at a small distance, has usually decided you're worth staying close to. Here's where a lot of owners go wrong. They call the cat over, they pat the cushion, they pick them up and move them closer, and each time, without meaning to, they push against a boundary their cat had set. When you let them stay exactly where they chose, no calling them over, no adjusting them, you're letting their comfort lead the interaction. That's a meaningful sign of trust, built quietly, over time. The next gesture will change the way you talk to your cat, and it goes against what most owners instinctively do. Every dog owner knows to use a bright, high-pitched, excited voice, and it works well for dogs. But a lot of cat owners do the same thing, and then wonder why their cat flattens their ears or simply walks away. Researchers who study how cats respond to human voices have found some useful patterns here. Dogs were bred, over thousands of years, to respond to our excitement. Cats largely weren't. In the wild, high-pitched sounds tend to mean distress or prey, neither of which puts a cat at ease. A low, soft, unhurried voice tends to land differently. Studies on feline responses to human vocal tone have found that cats often show calmer body language, slower blinking, more relaxed posture, less ear movement when spoken to gently, compared to sharp or high-pitched tones. Your cat doesn't understand your words, but they do seem to pick up on how you say them, the pace, the softness, the steadiness. When you slow down your speech and lower your voice, especially in an ordinary, unhurried moment, it tends to read to your cat as calm and safe. Try it sometime not to call them over, not to redirect them, just to acknowledge them. A few soft, low words. Watch their ears. Watch their eyes soften. Your voice, used this way, is a simple, quiet tool, and it costs nothing. The next gesture is about permission, and giving it can change how your cat experiences being touched. You reach toward your cat and they flinch back slightly, or they tolerate your touch without really leaning into it. A lot of owners assume this means their cat just isn't very affectionate. That's often not the case. Cats process much of their world through scent. To your cat, their nose is one of their most trusted tools for understanding what's around them. When a hand appears suddenly, without the chance to be identified first, it can register as something unfamiliar, and unfamiliar tends to trigger caution rather than ease. When you pause, instead extend your hand slowly and wait, letting your cat approach and sniff on their own terms for a few seconds. It gives them the chance to identify you first. Some research on feline handling and consent has found that cats who are consistently allowed to sniff before being touched tend to show more voluntary physical contact over time, the more they're allowed to approach first, the more they tend to seek it out later. That brief sniff is your cat gathering information about you, your scent, the moment. Letting that happen instead of skipping past it is a small way of respecting how they take in the world. 5 seconds of stillness. 1 extended hand. Let them come to you. The next gesture is the one that matters most during the hardest moments, and a lot of owners reach for the wrong thing when their cat needs it. The vet's office. A thunderstorm. Strangers in the house. Fireworks outside. Your cat is pressed into a corner, wide-eyed, tense. Most owners instinctively reach out to pet them or pick them up for comfort. But for a cat that's already overwhelmed, added touch and handling can sometimes make things feel more intense, rather than less. It's more stimulation layered onto a nervous system that's already stretched thin. What often helps more in that moment is something quieter, your presence, without demands attached to it. When you position yourself in your cat's line of sight, not looming, not reaching. Just present and offer a slow, deliberate blink. You're giving them a signal that doesn't require anything back. It simply says, I'm here, I'm calm. Staying visibly calm yourself, without needing to fix the situation immediately, tends to help a stressed cat settle faster than an anxious or overly hands-on response would. 5 seconds. Soft eyes. 1 slow blink. Your calm presence is one of the more reassuring things your cat has access to. The next gesture happens after your cat has already done something, and a lot of owners respond to it the wrong way. Your cat is sitting beside you grooming themselves, and then suddenly turns and starts licking your hand, your arm, your hair. Most owners laugh and pull away after a few seconds. The tongue is rough, it tickles. In doing so, they usually cut short something that in cat social behaviour tends to carry real weight. In wild cat colonies and multi-cat households, mutual grooming behaviourists call it allogrooming. Isn't random. It tends to happen between cats who share a close social bond, rather than between cats who simply tolerate each other. When your cat grooms you, they're treating you the way they'd treat another cat they trust. If you pull away early, the interaction ends before it's finished. If you stay still for a few more seconds, even when the tongue feels rough, you let the exchange complete. That rough little tongue is a small, distinctly feline way of including you. The next gesture requires no touch at all, just your eyes, and knowing what to look for. Most cat owners know the loud signals. A puffed tail means fear, a lashing tail means irritation, a straight-up tail usually means a greeting. Easy to spot, hard to miss. But there's a quieter signal a lot of owners never notice. The slow tail curl. When your cat is sitting near you, not on you, just nearby, and their tail curves gently around their own body, or softly wraps toward you, it's often read as a sign of comfort. Feline body language researchers have pointed to relaxed, curled tail positions as one of the calmer, more contented postures a cat displays. Your cat can't tell you directly that they feel comfortable around you. This is one of the quieter ways they show it anyway. When you notice, glance down, make soft eye contact, offer a slow blink back. You're simply acknowledging something they were already communicating. 5 seconds of attention to something most owners never see. It's a small thing that can make a cat feel a bit more noticed. The next gesture is about time, and the specific kind your cat seems to value. You wake up. You reach for your phone. You make coffee. Your cat winds around your legs, follows you room to room, and you navigate around them like warm, familiar furniture. It's easy to miss how much this small window of time matters to them. Cats tend to be creatures of pattern and predictability. In the wild, being able to predict your environment mattered for survival, and that wiring doesn't really go away indoors, it just shifts toward the routines of your home. When the same small ritual happens every morning, a scratch behind the ears while the coffee brews, a few of the same soft words, a moment where they climb into your lap before the day starts, it tends to give your cat something stable to expect. Some behaviourists who study feline stress have noted that cats with consistent daily routines tend to seem calmer overall, though the science here is still developing. Your morning routine isn't just your morning routine. For your cat, it's often one of the clearer signals that today is going to feel familiar and safe. The next gesture happens when your cat brings you something, and a lot of owners make the same mistake every time. Your cat drops a toy mouse at your feet, a crinkle ball, a hair tie they've been hoarding for weeks. They look up at you with clear intention and wait. Most owners glance down, maybe smile, then go back to what they were doing. It's easy to miss what that moment is actually about. Behaviourists sometimes call this gifting, and in cats, it tends to be a fairly deliberate act, not just random dropping of objects. It echoes older instinctive behaviour, mothers bringing prey to kittens, bonded cats sharing something they've caught. Bringing something to you, specifically, tends to be a way of including you in that instinct. When you respond, pick it up, look at it with genuine attention, make eye contact, say something warm you're closing the loop your cat opened. It tells them the thing they brought over didn't go unnoticed. 5 seconds of genuine attention is a small thing that goes further than it seems. The next gesture is about your voice, and one of the more meaningful ways you can use it. Think about how often you say your cat's name in a single day to call them for dinner, to stop them knocking something off the counter, to find them in the house. It tends to become functional, automatic, a sound that means come, or stop, or where are you. Rarely does it simply mean nothing more than acknowledgement. Researchers studying feline name recognition have found that cats can distinguish their own name from similar sounding words, and there's growing interest in how they respond not just to the sound itself, but to the tone it's said in. When your cat hears their name in urgency, they often tense up. In irritation, they sometimes just leave. But when it's spoken softly, slowly, with warmth, not to redirect them, just to acknowledge them, you'll often see something different. Their ears orient gently. Their eyes soften. Say your cat's name right now, not to call them, just because. Watch what happens. To your cat, their name said with warmth tends to land differently than their name used as a command. The next gesture speaks a similar language, but without a single word. This one sounds simple. It isn't quite as simple as it looks. When you bring your face close to your cat and rest your cheek softly against theirs, no sudden movements, no squeezing. Just warmth and stillness. You're doing something with a bit of biological weight behind it. Along a cat's cheeks are some of their more active scent glands, the same ones involved when they bunt you or mark their favourite furniture. When your cheek meets theirs, you're both exchanging scent in a fairly direct, mutual way. You're not just receiving their mark, you're leaving yours too. This kind of close, gentle facial contact tends to happen between cats who share a close bond, and it's a nice, if slightly poetic, way of thinking about what's happening between the two of you in that moment. If your cat leans into it rather than pulling away, that's a good sign of how comfortable they are with you specifically. 5 seconds, cheek to cheek. A small, quiet kind of closeness. And the last gesture on this list, the simplest thing here, might also be one of the more meaningful. You're working, reading, watching something, and across the room, your cat is sitting perfectly still, eyes on you, calm and unhurried. After a few seconds, they look away and go back to resting. Most owners never even register that it happened. Behaviourists sometimes call this surveillance bonding. Your cat isn't staring at you because they want something. There's no request, no agenda attached to it. They're simply keeping an eye on you, the way a cat might keep tabs on another cat or companion they feel connected to. In multi-cat households, this kind of watching tends to happen more between cats who are closely bonded. One rests, one watches, not necessarily out of worry, but as a quiet form of attentiveness. Your cat has, in their own way, decided you're worth keeping an eye on. When you look up and meet their gaze, offer a soft nod, a slow blink, a quiet word. You're simply letting them know you noticed too. They've likely been doing this for a while, in the background, without you realising it. Now you know. 14 gestures. None of them cost anything. None of them take more than 5 seconds. And most of them have probably been happening around you for a long time, without you noticing. Now I want to know, out of everything you just watched, which gesture does your cat do most? Is it the slow blink, the head bump, or something as quiet as hearing their names said a little differently? Type it in the comments. Every cat is a little different, and every answer down there is a small reminder that somewhere out there, a quiet particular cat is loved in exactly the way that suits them. Don't scroll away just yet. Go find your cat and see if you notice something you've missed before.